Hey everybody, it's Carrie with NeuroLife Coaching, and I'm back to talk about your brain's response to change. I think another big challenge that a lot of my clients have, I know they have, and I had myself, is change. When we decide that we're going to improve our brain health, we're going to live the life that we love, we have to make some changes. But I know a lot of us know that change is hard. Change is really hard. Well, just like I always say, everything starts with the brain. And it does, especially change. When we're born, from the time we're born until about the age of 7, our brain is like on hyper drive. Like it's taking in our environment and our beliefs, and it's growing, it's developing neural pathways. And those neural pathways that we develop from birth to the age of 7 become like our belief system, right? So as we get older, then our brain kind of takes a hiatus for a while and we grow and, it continues to grow, but then it takes off again during puberty and it continues to develop and is not fully developed until about the age of 25. And everybody is different. That's not a set in stone age that everybody's brain is developed by that time. It can develop more. And now we know that even if it's this certain way at the age of 25, we can still change it. But it's just a lot harder to change the older we get. So that's why instilling the best habits in children is the easiest thing to do. So I wrote a blog post about our brain's response to change because change is so hard, or it seems so hard. Really, it's creating those new neural pathways. And Socrates once said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not just some, all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but building the new. And that really does apply to the brain. We can't fight the old, and sometimes in life coaching, we want to go back and we want to dig up old stuff and rehash it. And that's fine to acknowledge and address what may trigger certain things and address those old beliefs and old neural pathways. But then we have to put all of our energy on developing the new. We have to forget the old and build the new pathway. And that's the most challenging part because we're always searching for familiarity. So that's why, when you're trying to break your 4 o'clock cookie habit, and, I'm totally guilty of that, so I'll bring it up. When you're trying to break that 4 o'clock cookie habit and your brain knows it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you've been working all day, you're starting to wind down and get ready for your evening activities, your brain is going to go down that old pathway and crave that sugar or coffee or whatever it is right around that same time. That's your laid down your old neural pathway. And you've got to focus all of your energy on building a new neural pathway around that. And there's 3 things that I talk about in my blog post as to why it's so hard. And the first one I've already addressed is the stronger than steel neural pathways. Those neural pathways have been laid down. I share with everybody, it's just like an electrical cord. The thicker the electrical cord, the more current the electrical cord can tolerate. Well, if you think about your neural pathway in the same way, one of those flimsy, skinny power cords, they fray and they can't carry a lot of current. But one of those very thick industrial electrical cords, they carry a lot of current. They're strong, and they're going to be solid. Well, that's the same with our neural pathways. We got these flimsy neural pathways. They're not too strong. We can change them. They might break off. But if we have these strong neural pathways, good or bad, that's the way our brain is going to go. So those stronger than steel neural pathways is the first reason it's hard to change. Our brain's obsession to oxytocin holds us back. Oxytocin is that neurotransmitter that makes us feel safe. I want to say, this is what spikes in a mother's brain when she has a baby. That oxytocin It wants to take care of the child, wants to take care of us, and we like that neurotransmitter. We get addicted to it. So when we get ready to change jobs or move cities and we're going out into the unknown, that drop in oxytocin really sends a signal to our brain like, whoa, this is not a good idea. So the obsession to oxytocin is the second reason. And the third reason our brains get stuck on change or resist change is our controlling cortisol. Cortisol is our fight or flight neurotransmitter, and cortisol is naturally occurring when we have stress in our lives, and we need a certain level of cortisol, and we all have stress, that's fine. But when you start talking about making those changes and going those other neural pathways, that's when cortisol levels spike and you go into that fight or flight. This is not a good idea. It's really your brain trying to protect you. It's not that there's something wrong with your brain. Your brain is doing its job. It's trying to prevent new neural pathways from being developed because the old ones are working just fine in the brain's opinion. The obsession to oxytocin, your brain wants you to feel safe. It likes that oxytocin. So going outside of your comfort zone, it sends up a red flag. And the cortisol spike, fight or flight, of course, that is definitely a red flag to the brain. So these three neurotransmitters that send signals when we try to make changes, especially significant changes in our lives, they hold us back. But when we push through and we make a new neural connection and we start setting new neural pathways, those old ones aren't the default anymore. And we can make big changes in our lives to be happier, healthier, and dominate our brain to design our life. Just remember, when you're trying to make a change and you're getting stuck and it's holding you back, everything starts with the brain. That's why I coach. That's why I'm here. And when we understand everything starts with the brain, we can make huge changes in our lives.